Estramore? You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara Exencios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer. It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now. We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court. Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution. You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
If those Delamgon are right, you and I are stuck with our awakenings. Not quite the news I was hoping for. Oh, the knowledge that a barely civilized bumpkin will share my mind and body for the rest of my life? That's kind of you to ask. I'd always believed that Isselmere was an ailment I could cure myself of one day. But now, to think she'll be around forever. Overstarched tunics, burnt toast, Rawatai sherry, those are not that bad. But having a stranger pop in and out of your head at will, it's unpleasant, I assure you. It's strange. I've lived with her most of my life, and I've always seen her as an adversary. It should have occurred to me the day she stood up to my father. But there's something about being too close to a situation to see it clearly. It will be a relief to stop fighting her. That means a great deal to me. Truly. That reminds me of something else the Delamgon said. About the gods not being real. Yes, I suppose so. Still, I can't help but worry at the state we'd be in if that were somehow true. If there were no power guiding us in this life and shepherding us to the next. I hope you're right.
Oh, the scent of sweat, fur, loam, leaves, the discordant howls. I believe Galawain's herald approaches. Holy Hound himself! It's not just his herald, it's the Lord of the Hunt! Here!
My end comes to all things in time. Seal the frost-hewn breach, and instruct the pilgrims in the patience of Remergond.
Just how are we supposed to worship the Sky Mother from among the weeds, hmm? This is a disgrace.
Calm yourself. We should be grateful that she protected us from the Winged Terror. Besides, even here we have a visitor. A dragon. One that has taken up residence in the Nest, the true temple of Helia, and slain many of her faithful. And one which Anuin has been in favor of killing from the beginning.
But no, you advised caution. Now word spread that the dragon ate a few of our followers, and anyone willing to slay it wants an Anumfoth's ransom for the job.
I told you a larger party wouldn't stand a chance. By the time the first half reached the top of the mountain, the second half would still be stuck in the pass. They'd be burned alive. Contrary to Anuin's suggestion, I am in favor of sending someone to kill the dragon. But I suggest a smaller party, and one willing to seek Helia's blessing.
You could.
What she means is that this is no mere drake, but a fully grown dragon, and one that has willingly moved into a populated area. You'll want every advantage at your disposal, including the blessing of the Sky Mother herself. I would suggest that you petition her directly at Ter Evron, if you haven't already.
You hear this, Wag?
Relax, Anuin. I'm sure he meant nothing by it. Forgive my consort. She's been rather excitable of late. This is not, as you seem to recognize, our actual temple. It's merely a shrine we've set up after the business with the dragon. Why, she's the goddess of song, art, the sky, and maternity. She's gentle and brilliant, speaking to her followers in dreams, inspiration, and birdsong. It is said that she wears a cloak adorned with a feather from every bird known to Kith or Wilder, and that she manifests in the flocks themselves.
Aye, and in the screams of childbearing, which I can assure you is not so beauteous a thing.
And this is true, which is why midwives are widely considered clergy of Helia, as are many artists and poets. In any case, those of us who follow her feel closest to her splendor in a place where we might share light, song, and a view of the blessed sky.
Tread carefully, Estermore.
Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher. I thought it was my doing. I thought that I had stilled it with my thoughts. The child. It was just a child. What was done with it? It was not the last Hollowborn on the birthing bell. And never again did I hear a child's cry. The first birth was the deepest, the saddest. Nothing I could do could find the child's spirit, guide it to him. Little word of the outside world reached us. It was enough time for rage and pain and grief to guide hands. I feared what would happen to the children, what would happen to me. Every mother knows her womb may shed a stillborn, but these cold, soulless creatures, the parents wouldn't have understood, and fear of the unknown breeds violence. I held their minds within mine. I shaped and guided them as long as I could. And with each passing day, each new birth, the strain grew. And the more I felt my control slipping, the more I focused my thoughts. Eventually, even I succumbed to the power of my own illusion. I'd woven the threads so tightly that I could no longer see through them. They would have killed the children. I had no choice. The matter was too great to seek permission, so I made them believe their children lived whole and healthy, until there were too many children, and the protection crumbled. My actions only caused more misery. Worse, I took from an entire village, made them as empty and helpless as the children I sought to protect. But what then? Is it better to stand by in the face of tragedy? To let it wash over the world a hungry tide? I did not see it as such. I sought to weave a cradle with my mind, but it became a prison. For the village, and for me. Your words have soothed my mind, in ways I did not expect. I thank you, Watcher, for the gift of your sight, for using it to guide me out of the prison of my mind. Let us hope it can also free you from the illusions Theos has woven around you.
Right. What's the plan again?
Vermin invading my nest, threatening my hatchling. You shall feed my young.
What business does an Estromor have with the Fangs?
Oryx's shadow. Any closer and you'll bleed out next to him. I never thought I'd prepared myself to meet a stranger. To share the honor and history of my village with someone who had no knowledge of us. Even someone who'd scorn our way of life. I was going to tell him about the years of abundance in Masuk. How his granddaughters have hunted caribou, and his grandsons made our walls strong. But he'll be gone in minutes.
If you've finished your chanting, we need to get to work before the meat spoils.
Did your elders teach you even a mouse dropping's worth of decency? There will be other kills to dress and eat, but there will only be this one chance for Sagani to say her due respects.
Have you no respect? A great soul inhabited this body.
And it's gone now. What's left is our kill.
I want nothing from the tongues of these carrion eaters. Coming from people who revere stones and long-dead Audra.
It's not just worshipping stones, you fool. It's about respect for what was built by those who came before you. Persoc means to you what those long-dead Audra mean to us.
She slanders the builders. You Estromoran are full of useless talk.
A deer in the middle of Air Glonfoth. But I'm glad I can bring this success back to Masuk. And perhaps Persoc will return to us one day because of it. To be honest, the biggest relief is knowing that my journey was worthwhile. that finding Persoc and carrying our village's story to him will strengthen our community and return his soul to us. I'm looking forward to being back in Masuk among my family and my people. But more than anything, I'm glad to finally understand the purpose behind these last 5 years. What do you think? Do you feel as though you understand the purpose behind your hunt for Theos? Those reasons can make all the difference. I hope they're useful to you. Anyway, Theos isn't getting any closer. I suppose we'd best keep after him. They look like they came from Estelgar's claws.
What brings you here?
We saw you go up the mountain. Well, what happened?
She means to say that we're both very relieved to see you're safe.
Yes, of course, that too. Praise the Sky Mother, and thanks to you too. I told you that an attack was the way to go.
And the Queen of Birds saw fit to bless us with a capable warrior. It is a shame that such a rare champion of the skies had to perish. All winged life is sacred to our goddess. Still, it is better that we can return to worship at the nest. Thank you. Not to presume too much, but you might pray to Helia when you visit Ter Everon. She is grateful to all who aid her.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door. Some, shaped for hunt and war. Abidan the Golem. Galawain and his beasts. The latter keeps us honest and awake. The other makes the tools by which we punish those who are not. Before, when you asked about allies, well now, ally, enemy, that's a skin's edge of difference in history's eye. But there were enemies. Were.
Kareth, this is no place for sightseeing, even for you. The beasts of Galawain's Maw are dangerous, and now more than ever. They won't fight. It is not Galawain's way, and it is not the way of the Maw.
Come to see the great Oernos, Estremor? He's out for a hunt, but he'll be back. Unlike that lioness, he doesn't stay cooped up in here for long. Because she holes up at the back of the Maw, surrounded by her pride and the natural hazards of this place. It's not the proper way to meet a challenger. She's got to come out and face Oernos to keep her claim. Anyway, her prime is past. Putting that old beast down would be a mercy at this point. We wait for the big confrontation, but the wait grows exhausting. While Sul hides in the back of the Maw, Oernos is denied his victory, and we're all denied the champion we deserve.
Still looking around? Watch your step. Tempers run hot around here, and not just among the animals.
My vows are to ensure the safety of the Republics. Sometimes that means breaking orders, not following them. Your first error was mistaking my countrymen for helpless sheep. Freros! Seres! Children of the Republics! Show these dogs the price of threatening our people! You should have listened to me, Postanago. We're going to find this Casita Batsi, this Theos. He's going to pay. Diverus.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door. You see many things that aren't there, Watcher. Perhaps the symbol was for your disappearing sanity, and we are to bid it farewell while you still have the wits to grieve for it. No riddle there, Watcher. It took 12 of us to build the Godhammer. Afterward, I took my leave of all of them to see what Margren had in store for me. I've seen none of them since. Your kind has a way of interpreting its visions to fit the version of the truth you like best. But Margren's flame leaves no room for interpretation. Waste the time of others with your distortions and your fever dreams. It's always the way of the mad to try to convince others of a reality only they can see. But when your doctrine's the truth, it requires no convincing, only an opening of the eyes. I would purify you, Watcher, if I thought it would help. Oh, has my talk raised more questions? A true surprise. Do I value her? Why, I hold value in all whores. For a whore, their motivations are honest.